Sir Kevin Taylor has said on his show that he didn't take the $10,000 because I cannot be bribed. Yeah. Samuel Abu Jinapor during the elections, chaos na ekoso damango no. NDC for no almost sorry na they were protesting no. NDC ni a oye Samuel Abu Jinapor damfo ono na ko tua sika ema sa NDC for no eja ide na omo ye no. Yes. I didn't want to go too fast. One more day we. Where is the Jinapor story I was showing you? Samuel Abu Jinapor, this guy, today he's saying, say, the NDC gold board concept needs clarification. Samuel Abu Jinapor. Or not Samuel Abu Jinapor, Sika Weria at the Lands Ministry. Samuel Abu Jinapor commissioned a refinery. We cannot see the refinery today. Mumbusan said, where is the refinery? He has the guts to come and talk about, say, the gold board, it needs clarification. Ghana na yejimintra and cause Samuel Abu Jinapor that jail. Let me tell you, Samuel, I have a message for you. You see that businessman during the election, you went to give that businessman $10,000 to give to me to stop talking about Damango, your seat that you were beating people to win. That $10,000 is still with the businessman. That businessman is our mutual friend. Go to him tomorrow and say, Sir Kevin Taylor said 10,000 wanji. The $10,000. I would my businessman say on famamino. Go to the businessman and tell him. Sir Kevin Taylor has said on his show that he didn't take the $10,000 because I cannot be bribed. Yeah. Samuel Abu Jinapor during the elections, chaos na ekoso damango no. NDC for no almost sorry na they were protesting no. NDC ni a oye Samuel Abu Jinapor damfo ono na ko tua sika ema sa NDC for no eja ide na omo ye no. Yes. Samuel Abu Jinapor, you want to bribe me with $10,000? Machel, me say our mutual friend who is a businessman, the $10,000 you gave him is still with him. So go and take the money and come on social media and tell the world that he didn't give $10,000 to that businessman. And there are some people in the NDC, you think we don't know what you people are doing? Tell me, Samuel Abu Jinapor, a boat to Damango, election or lose elections. And your NDC ni and a call Damango or Tua Chicago Damango say NDC for ninja ding. Now Samuel Abu Jinapor fem. Maybe they may come there, may say $10,000 now. Or come a businessman. Kono watch na friend and and say, did you speak to Kevin about the money? Yes, he spoke to me about the money. Or catch them and say, would the $10,000 I be just on for me? Till date, on I don't need it. You think you can bribe me with $10,000? I'll come back to this matter. I'm giving you 48 hours. You yourself come out and deny this matter. Now, and teach you know the so-called middle class people. You see, when you go to school a little bit, it does not make you. It should not. Let me say that way. It should not make you stupid. The reason why people listen to us and then they say, "Sami papa bi aname ma bi ti baby tie mi a," and just say minim nyansa che no, e kire say na adwini mu no, Kevin I consider me. Edi ebu ama me. Akohwehwe nsem a sebio me a mete ayodun me nsanka e na odi anidi ama me na obekirikiri ma kire me. Enti saa nipa ni ebuo e na ama me. Enti o se me di ebuo e ma saa nipa na ohwe me no. Enti se me di atem kura mpo na I make sure say adekudie nti a me ma me bia wedi 65 ehwe me no. Saa ade no me di ama no, which is the truth. And ntina till date, nobody can sit on any platform to say Kevin Bois, and I have one document to do what? Tell the world to say he lied. Nobody, and nobody can do that. You can just insinuate, oh, I can't say me or Bois, but you cannot counter it with fact because I understand the game I am in. And the game I am in, no, the code is what? Fact checking. The code is credibility. I understand it. Now, when it comes to governance, about governance, we are always supposed to understand to say decisions they be taken in there. No, sad decisions nana in the future it will take effect. Near to Kromha, and we all discussed how Ghana is going to move forward. Now, this is city news. This is gentleman called Bernard Avle on any group Omuti City News and pay. Right now we are having the economic dialogue, which is we are trying to have a dialogue nationwide. Obian fan adwene brane ya nhwe senia MPP si bi o masai man na koduno ye betumi atoto ye sikasem president akasa finance minister akasa impenifo titire omunim economics ni nyomanyema obi a kire na adwene. Now ye sorry anopa the ehu ya ne say Bernard Avle and the group of boys on City TV say the challenge, and I quote, the challenge we face is that we don't have a long-term vision for anything. And this statement is from Bernard Avle and his group of panelists. Now, me who statement we know, and I'm going to say, are we serious as a people? Because as journalists, we are supposed to be abreast of the issues, and we have to basically ask ourselves questions, research, before we go out there and spill nonsense. Now, let's listen to Bernard Avle and his group.
And this government has a bounce. People like this government. They are new. They are fresh. So everybody wants to come. Everybody wants to show that they are in support. So everybody came, right? People who were not invited came. They wanted to be given a chance to talk. So there's a bit of a spring in the step. Bankers, finance people, like everybody wants to do something. So the president has goodwill, which he has to use well. You know. So I hope like it's not window dressing. So which is why it's good for his ministers to come and sit down and actually listen. You know, one of the things that have worried us is that politicians assume that because they are in office they know everything. But a lot of people and of course politicians they have their role. They are combining and solving different problems. But I feel like there are so many people who want to give you the experience for free, who are sharing their views, particularly in the macroeconomic stability room. If I'm the Minister of Finance and the BOG boss, I'll sit down with a pen and just write. Because you may not get all these people in the room at the same time. I mean, if you have Nico Akusoa, Polakwa, you have everybody. You know, these are heavyweights of macroeconomics. So listen to them for all it's worth. Fine, you have some new ideas. There's new realities in the economy. So it's not everything old that is good, but you need that judgment. So I think it was a really good time. This is my point. The challenge we face is that we don't have long-term vision for anything.
The statement was clear. Bernard Avle, I think he was the moderator for the event. Osei onipa bebrebe hia ono krampo de hu ni say nka dis finance minister kasa. Eni say nka omo de omo international omo taking notes. The finance minister has to let people know. He needs to let the world know. The people sitting there, the status Ghana economic year status BBA, he needs to let them know. The government invited Ghanaians to let Ghanaians know what is actually happening. So why should the finance minister, who is the head of Yesikasem, to sit the Bank of Ghana governor, why are they supposed to take the back seat and take notes? They are supposed to let the people know that this is what we came to meet. That is why we need your ideas to find a way to maneuver, to find a way to get out of this mess. So when the finance minister comes and sits down, take a notebook and start writing. Bank of Ghana governor comes, sits down, take a notebook, start writing. They all know the problems they have inherited. Then these people who are also so-called experts, what are they going to base their statements on? What are they going to use to make their point? Because something should be said, a problem should be spoken about before we can find a solution to that problem. And for Bernard Bettina TV, so can say, any senka finance minister kasa, any senka Bank of Ghana governor kasa, or senka ministers nitri no mo chrochro. Na omo ya invite you no, dear no mo beka. Because there should be something sitting on the table for us to discuss. Now, Ehokra Hame, the part that worries me, and I say journalism in Ghana is becoming so weak every single day. And yes, we are not supposed to speak every day. Let it go. But some of the radio, so I know you people want people to think, say, and that everybody is stupid. Now, let me take you back a little bit. Osei. The challenge we face is that we don't have a long-term vision for anything. It is a lie. Bernard Avle is a liar. On this particular topic, he lied. Ghana has a long-term vision. It is people who we give power to, derail a long-term vision. The long-term vision has been there. Under John Dramani Mahama, all the way back in 2012, he was able to put together the National Development Planning Commission. And what was it about? It was a 40-year plan. The 40-year plan, what was it going to do? It was to guide this country how we were going to build economically, socially, how we were going to set our country up. It involved everything. 40 years. Nana do danko Akufo Addo MPP for about power. The 40-year plan. So for you to sit as a journalist without doing any of your research, you say, as a nation, we don't have a vision. We don't have a long-term plan. We have. That is why during the debate between Akufo Addo and John Mahama, he took his time to let Ghanaians understand why it is important for us to have a 40-year plan, the National Development Planning Commission, so that we can basically plan this country in a way that the next 40 years, to me and fall into the traps we are falling in. There has always been a plan. The National Development Planning Commission, it is sitting there. The plan is there. Nanado Danko Akufo Addo Nkwasiafo we buy no. Professor Adai Mokachere said we don't need a 40-year plan. This is John Mahama defending the NDPC.
I will go to the president and the presidential candidate of the NDC to answer the same question in 3 minutes.
Indeed, I think there's a confusion in the mind of the NPP presidential candidate in the answer he gave. That is exactly the concern we have in this country, that when political parties leave government, the plans and visions that are instituted are thrown away. And so if we assume that every 4-year cycle, a government potentially could lose elections, it means every 4 years we'll have a new National Development Planning Framework. And that is why the CRC flagged that issue. And so to say that immediately you come into office, your manifesto is going to be put, you won't wait for 2 years. We waited for the GPRS2 to run its course, because an attempt had been made to create a stakeholder participation in GPRS2. And that's why when we came into office, we were not in a hurry to throw GPRS2 away. We waited for GPRS2 to run its course before we presented the GSGDA. And so I don't see what problem the MPP presidential candidate is fixing by saying immediately I come to government, I'm not waiting for 2 years, I'm taking my manifesto, I'm putting a plan in place. That is the problem we want to cure. And making your vice president the chair of NDPC, politicizing the NDPC, I think he's absolutely lost his way. What we're saying is there's a difference between a national vision, and that is what the NDPC creates. The NDPC is supposed to create a national development planning framework, and that is the overarching framework of what as a nation we want to achieve and where we want to go. Within that national development planning framework, we can have our own political, ideological, operational plans that must fit into the national development planning framework. And so it's like turning the whole planning issue on its head. What we are doing is we're implementing the GSGDA, which was brought about as a result of wide stakeholder consultation. What we need to do is to ensure that we coordinate the planning function of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning and the mandate that the NDPC has, in order that the NDPC and the MOFEP are working in sync rather than at cross purposes. Because the MOFEP, that's the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, is responsible for the 3-year rolling plan, which is the MTEF, in terms of the budget cycle. And so what we are doing currently, we're not waiting to come into power to do. What we're doing currently is synchronizing the MTEF and the National Development Planning Framework, which is the Ghana Shared Growth and Development Agenda. And if we do that, we'll find that there will be no conflict between MOFEP and NDPC, and we'll make much quicker progress than we have done in the past.
A follow-up to that, and then I'll give Nanado an opportunity to do a rebuttal. He's indicated he wants to do a rebuttal. The Constitution Review Commission recommended that the plans of the NDPC be entrenched and be binding on successive governments. But your government, never mind who was your predecessor president, disagreed with that. In the light of what you say, is that something you want to revisit?
The NDPC is a constitutional body mandated by the Constitution to perform a certain mandate. And all parties respect the Constitution. And so the provision that sets up the NDPC is a provision that we all respect. And so our point is that after that plan has been produced using broad stakeholder consultation, it would be excessive to constitutionalize the plan. Because if it's a 5-year rolling plan, it means every 5 years you amend the Constitution to incorporate the new plan. The NDPC has enough constitutional backing already.
Simple as that. And this NDPC has been sitting there, National Development Planning Commission or Commission has been sitting there. It was a 40-year plan. So why is Bernard sitting on TV? All because we are sitting on radio, we have to speak. You people need to do your research. We were supposed to insist that Nana Addo Akufo Addo and his political party stuck to the principles, because this had been put in place. If we had followed this 40-year plan, we wouldn't be here struggling again for the NDC to come and solve our economic problems. And in the first place, this forum that we are having today, the NPP that caused the problem, they have decided not to even join the discussion. So who are you supposed to blame? You are not supposed to blame all politicians. You are supposed to blame the people who caused the problem. Because in 2016, 17, 18, if Nana Addo Akufo Addo and the NPP had implemented this, we wouldn't be here today. We would have known in the next 10, 15 years how the governing of this country would be. Because every political party biya, the manifesto, the policies, the ideas. But the national idea should be paramount. It needs to sink. It needs to sit inside the bigger agenda, which is the national agenda. Now, we let Akufo Addo and the MPP throw this document away, and they said they were going to create a 10-year development plan. Where is that 10-year development plan? So for you as a journalist, sit on radio to say, we as a nation, we don't have a long-term vision. We have. You and I, we have been lazy. Especially you, Bernard Avle, you have been lazy to question the people who are supposed to make sure that the laws that the Constitution has put out there for us to force to work, we have neglected those responsibilities. We are supposed to force them. For 80 years, you as a journalist did not sit on radio and TV to insist that we start to build this nation using the National Development Plan framework. You never did that. Why, yes, sir? Into DNA radio soon say we don't have a vision. John Mahama and the NDC put 40. JJ Rollins even started 2020. John Mahama mobile a 40-year plan. And we need to understand the moment you make Jai Sadia way, you're honest with ourselves. The politicians will be lying to us every day. And it's they be say Jimmy, because people like you will always be blaming politicians. But for some time, the politician had made this available to us. We are supposed to insist the politicians do that job. JJ started Vision 2020. John Mahama mobile the 40-year development plan by Adentina Kufuadmo Edi really free so. Professor Adai and the likes, those political insects, they came and said 40-year development plan is too long. Professor Adai, 8 months no, Kwasiam Penny way, 7 months no. This man just came in with his stupid tribal bigotry to come and tell us to change a 40-year plan to a 10-year plan. You did 8 years since the Akufo Addo mobile power, 9th year ni 10-year development plan away. So we are not supposed to be that childish. We are supposed to be journalists who basically research. We should stop taking sides and trying to make people think we are neutral. We are not. We need to let the people know the truth. What I saw there is total misinformation and disinformation. Ghana has a long-term vision. We as journalists and we as Ghanaians need to insist that the politicians stick to that vision. It's a 40-year-old vision. Why are we not talking about it? Eugene Sankasa 40-year-old vision. Akufo Addo Kwasiam Penny way or buy and implement it and stay within that vision. Do you think we'll be here today? And that is what we do with the mic. That is what we do with the radio. And you're misinforming the young ones. And then it will get into somebody's head. Hey, politicians, they don't care about Ghana for. We don't have a vision. We have a vision. Let me show you something. I don't have it here. Let me try and pull it out. Yeah? The 40-year development plan. I'm trying to get you the concept, what the NDC, the concept they had, how in the next 40 years, what they wanted to do. This is what the NDC had in mind. John Mahama and the NDC government, time on the 40-year development plan we buy now. This was the kind of concept they had in mind. 40 years, they wanted us to have these things.
The Black Star Stadium is a futuristic facility that will be built under Ghana's long-term national development plan to host a major international sporting event such as the FIFA World Cup or the Olympic Games. It will be to Ghana what the Statue of Liberty is to America or the Eiffel Tower is to France. It will be an iconic tribute to Ghanaian ingenuity, vision, and hard work. The stadium's state-of-the-art features will draw from the best of the 21st century technology, engineering, and architecture. It will be eco-friendly and a powerhouse of social, economic, and sporting activities. The entire roof will be made up of solar panels to provide electricity for the stadium. Solid and liquid waste generated at the stadium will be recycled to provide additional energy. There will be 4,000 underground parking spaces equivalent to a 4-story building. The 5 points of the star will contain the following: a hotel, offices, conference facilities, entertainment facilities, recreational facilities, shops, restaurants, a world-class sports medicine and research facility, and a national sports museum. The stadium will be linked by road and rail as part of the National Rail and Highways network that will go through all 10 regional capitals. The Black Star Stadium is expected to attract millions of tourists every year from within and outside Ghana. It will provide thousands of jobs directly and indirectly to the youth of Ghana. The future of Ghana. Dream it, plan it, live it. Brought to you by the National Development Planning Commission.
This was the 40-year development plan. 2018, John Mahama making sure say before he left office, this commission was put together. This was all in the plan. We can talk about when it comes to education. This was all in the plan. But Avle says, well, we don't have a vision. We have. We need to insist that these politicians do it. This was the concept. This is what John Mahama and the NDC were saying. Let's have 40 years. This plan should be some of the major plans we have as a nation. Whatever we do, we should not move away from this vision. So the 40-year development plan was there. And the document is still there. The office is still there. So why are we saying as a nation we don't have a vision? We have. In fact, when it comes to transportation, this is what street concept, this is what the plan, this was what was in the plan. Was all part of it. If we have followed these things, because we would have invested a lot of money in infrastructure and our road networks, and if we had followed this 40-year plan, in Kwasiafo way about power, a one of just a sky train. Yeah, train the free kind. Deche, but we had the nam form or the namusium no, Akufo the nam form in Kwasiafo be there so 8 years. Today we are sitting here saying we don't have a vision. We have a long-term vision. We have a plan. We should tell the people that Akufo Addo and the MPP, they have derailed us for 8 years. Just 2024, this is what John Mahama said.
Rawlings had Vision 2020, and when President Akufo came, 2020 was thrown out of the window, and they brought the poverty reduction strategy. Growth and Poverty Reduction Strategy, GPRS or something like that. And then when he left, Agenda for Transformation came. And then when I came, I brought the 40-year development plan. And when President Akufo Addo came, he threw the 40-year development. He took part of it and created his Ghana Beyond Aid. And so we don't have a specific plan that we all are working to. And so I'm suggesting that we have the 40-year development plan. We can compress it into a 20-year plan with 4-year segments. And so it's 20 years, we expect to be here in 20 years. But every 4 years, this is where we must reach. Every 4 years, this is where we must reach. And all of us must sign on to the plan so that we implement it together. Whether it's Mahama in power or somebody else comes into power, they will continue their 4-year leg of it. So that it becomes like
simple as that. That's all. Instead of us to hold their leg to the fire, we made these fools 8 years. Radio TV so you were scared. You were using idiomatic expressions. You were using figurative speeches. You could not directly address Akufo Addo's government. When Akufo Addo was in power for 8 years, you Bernard Avle, now also throw books 10 because you became a lecturer, an English lecturer. You were using figurative speeches. Now, you were not being direct. You were using idiomatic expressions because all of you were cowards. You were scared. You could not tell them in their faces that these people are Nkwasiafo. They are not doing the right thing. So nobody should sit on radio or on TV to say, we don't have a long-term plan. We have it. Now let us insist. At least we have an intelligent president who is willing to implement. We all have to support the government to do it. Munjai dia no betina radio so TV so amoye no munnim nyansa nche obi awo obi anya akwara wo kuro ni mo ye nyina taxes ye de chichiri kuro no enti mo betina radio so na buti na fufufu na munyi muti no e betina say because you are timid, you people are timid, you are people we have to respect. Timidity and so you are smart. You people have to speak like men. Be men and speak on the issues. Bogus mommy anko enim. Now this is something I want us to talk about. This is gone, this is gone, this is gone. My person may be victim say MPP as a political party omo Jimmy. Now plan be ba omo another plan. My culture as a party they will be in opposition for 42 years. Market. And my culture almost say party negu. Now the tribalism in them no it is now about to manifest. And they be a culture Ghana for the biggest mistake we will make again as a nation is to give power to these pigs. I know what I'm talking about. The biggest mistake we will make as Ghana for is to hand over power to this stupid tribal party. This party that only thinks about a tribe, but not Ghanaians. Makachira must say, this party, so you Ghana Nibia, now we are foresight, now we are somebody who is more, you are very progressive. The NPP as a political party should never be a party you join because that party is not progressive. That party is a party filled with tribal bigots who think everything should be about them. Now, Eboboba, from the beginning of the year, Mekachiramu said, the NPP as a political party, when they are in opposition, they are daring, they are dangerous because Omi are true for. Because in their head, Ghana Nibia Jimmy, because they think, say, Yenina Yankwasiafo, and that what they can do, they say, they will go change their name, they will go change their color, they will go change their logo, and come and tell us so many different people. They are the same group of criminals. The NPP, JJ Rollins Kachiramo, they are people you are not supposed to trust. They kill themselves, they kill each other, and they laugh about it. Now, say Chairman Sabonsu was starting ya DB. Or do you say Ghana for Jimmy and MPP for no Sebio Asante for more MPP no almost start agenda B. Yani Jimmy you. The MPP will never get space to rule Ghana again. Wakotna a year asempa, and this interview was a planned interview. They know what they are doing. Memawet interview what they are trying to do. This is Osei Sabunsu.
Baba, have you been told at the frontier party necessary as majority leader then? Or my cartel? Do you know why you were changed?
I know. It was told me by the president at the time.
Okay.
But
why in the public?
Osei.
Like the reason one fan to that.
Oh, say ofre MPs no ne ministers no.
Yes.
Or them na amo a share.
Yes.
Sadino.
Okay.
Na asem no bobo no. MPs no be about over 80 of them. That many number here 137. About 80 of them had appended their signatures. So what to say asimsi neighbor. And I should assure them say I will hold and they will support me. And me call ya present a fraying and all the two anymore. No. Now even them who cramp no ministers no be a bit here and also say I'm what to say na papa no beka. Na president Yamai. Now mamintie. They are going to support me. Now I should hold on as the majority
leader.
Now me down must. Some of them sent messages to me. Me called them honor President Bekasa no. Ano kaso adena o ye no nye ono oni party no na ye. Na me match no against the MPs no ya. Na hwe ya get a big implosion beba party. Oh, and here on the spur of the moment, I'm decided to say no, I've had enough. Let me step aside. The president de Casa Danukrana me take it down notes. The way no ma general secretary. So only general secretary can hold or take it decision. No friends will make us. So I'm picking down a few notes. We ain't be some said will be become. The show and make us my resign.
You said it there and there.
I said it there and there. So I didn't want to be the eye of any storm in the party. I'm quoting myself. Until I'm resigning. And then why didn't, and those of them no more MPs no fault, I disappointed them and so on. And so when they heard, they all said the same thing. But I think I took
on my reasoning to on the party to take his decision. Say watch a dodo and now so mufi say they are from an answer day.
And not the meet me I can say.
Yes.
The Kyei and say some rena and this for now a President Mahama no more yin so beda.
Yes.
Na onyi ni running mate. But senana AC Coroni ni so befa a Vice President ene Professor
Jinapor.
Yes. Intino President Frey na say no nam say ne pono no. So Central Region I say ya ho den kofom. E wo ho. Na in visibility e wo ho. The minority leaders am na to. What take over from Haruna.
Yes.
And they were expecting to have the vice presidential candidate from the same region.
Sure.
And Waka said, we need to have some visibility there. And Intina, Omujidi say, from Central Region. That was a seminar. So, Yemra Muse say no kura, Yestani or say no. The minority leader or the majority leader is a person chosen by the party people in parliament. And your party outside.
Yes.
So, and now, Okasa Okipia, I could find some.
I didn't send
Yes and no, I mean, what you say.
But did the reason make sense to you? Say, party now who are in the visibility air from more opponent of a minority leader or mafa or more babe far running mate. That should be a good reason, Anna.
Well, some say,
it didn't make sense to you.
I know the Mr. Omen Pesemakan was my crew in Germany.
But you were not happy with the decision.
Oh, especially Senator AC Connoisseur, my here, and I'm so crying my confusion about
party.
Fancy the situation. Senka, my step aside. And ne, ye didn't kugui, ne kugu no so, and ye light in kugu.
Yeah.
Now, said you make a kind of baby, I'm say, yes, will be cry cool to me. Yes, she be cool to me. Let me say, oh, you didn't go with the nay a film from Farmer. Yes, it's true, you know, many honey. Now, where's I with a chance to try me answer. And he, oh, say, if I say, come to me by, and then Kugo Yabea. Timens Abunzu refused to resign. And I could dim a chin, hey, and Kugo by and can make cry beside him. You tell me, can be.
And a party
didn't go. And they namin come. What you say? The share situation and I'm mentioning. And as to whether
it is from the Onwanga Canada could yet changing it free a year as majority leader. I had the Afenyobe chair on a say. Now Afenyo Krampono and you say he's competent to lead the minority today. It was because Akufo Addo Fili say Infantifone ni BA. And that they are losing grip of the central region. Jandam nenko. And into no catch your search message say you be here Fantini obi of free central region. So it did not mean so they didn't choose Afenyo Markin because he was competent to be the leader of the NPP in parliament. They chose Afenyo Markin because they thought to say Afenyo Markin was central region, he was going to bring central votes. But at the end of the day, Afenyo Markin we lost all the seats in the central region. That is not even my concern. Because I feel naturally he's stupid. And we all can see how he's exhibiting incompetence and foolishness in parliament. It was not like he was competent and he was chosen because of his competency. He was chosen because the Akufo Addo thought to say, because he's foolish in the central region, he can go there and bully his way to get more seats for the NPP. So, after you're marking today leading the NPP, it means to say, or your mistake leader. After you're by mistake and obey minority leader. And Nichina or picky sitting from 137 and 88 because he had no knowledge about holding on to the seat of the NPP. And for Akufo Addo to get somebody like Afenyo Markin who is foolish and does not understand the dynamics, how to lead and how to negotiate and meet people halfway, that was the beginning of the end of the NPP. And today we know, say, Kasongo 99, he wasn't actually the right person to lead. He came in because they felt to say the central region, the Jandam was not working. They needed somebody from the central region, but they did not look for somebody who was intelligent, somebody who was smart enough to understand that you are dealing with human beings. But the most important thing I want to talk to you about is say, when the Asantinina or MPP no party back. The Osei chairman Sabonsu a planned interview. On say yini free leadership one kasasa besine. Aka less than a year no makoyi flag bearer. Now I'm sure dynamics Sa obi no ti wono ono esusu box o. Sa the coin to mu pe obebie so amwabo adwuma. Enti ono no ote wono o esusu box obi no de hianse wa friend wo kukuom na wa che ne say we na mpese me ye obeya ama. Now this is what Osei chairman Sabonsu is doing. Share MPP nim. Mamema Opano. Alan Koye Chiramanti or Santini, he's out. He's not going to contest MPP flag bearership. No. Napo, everybody knows Napo is never going to come back as a running mate. Honestly, as Santini, he's out. John Kuma, he's dead. They killed him. John Kuma too is out. Now, Napo cannot contest with Bawumia again. And a Kennedy Japan is not pure Ashanti. Now, they know there's a vacuum. And that vacuum, then they say, here Asantini to fill the vacuum. Osei Chairman Sabonsu is preparing himself. Obama Bawumia, one option or two options. Either Bawumia makes him the running mate or he contests Bawumia. Politics na make sure. That is the plan you are seeing there. Now, the Asante MPP, they want to bring another Asantini because they tested they need to tell Ghana for say they are not tribalistic. Oba will say a backfire. Amfa. Now, Osei Chairman Sabonsu is preparing himself to take the mantle. Now, he knows that Bawumia is a problem. Now, Bawumia popularity in the party, any candidate is strong because even in their own party, they have split the party into two. You cannot go into an election with weak party following. Inti Osei Chairman Sabonsu knows. And now also a mention directing say go and step in. Because right now a person the party eba bafwa kotofie mensia. Also wufri swame. We Asantini prekope. Umoja enu fufuru mashaha. Party ni a tribal party. I was say a kwaji party friend kind de bafie. Right now Kennedy Japan jina or Jimmy ye nim the stands on ya Santini ultimate police crowd because ni who bini dawson. Mahamudu Bawumia or 38% only that weight to win against John Mahama or anybody in the future. It's what we want you to do. Then they say, go in there, start preparing the people's mind. Prepare Santifona Jenny. Sebio Omudu Dona Jenny will form. O Stateke can some say ya. O Lawrence Adai Ombe who say we a different character. You were not part of Omo Amomayeko opposition. Because Utieni Kasema, he is actually taking himself out of the defeat. He's making you understand. He's speaking to the party base. Say, me, and I can be leading your parliament, and Kayi lose this margin in parliament. Meaning, I'm not going to take blame for the defeat. And that if you want leadership, Papa, may ya santini mapamaba. So what he's going to do, Nina say, he's going to have a deal with Bawumia and say, you, Anna Kennedy, especially Bawumia, make me your running mate. Now, when Bawumia refuses, he will contest Bawumia and he will win. Pathway, they are termites. A tribal party, you cannot take it away from them. He's just collecting sympathy onim ne party followers no, onim se dodo ne Jimmy, onim se omadwene wo form, onim how he can maneuver. He knows how he can barb them. It the oil and say he's basically walking slowly, and you will see he will appear. Opie pe omega say aha asantini mapa. Where they no count your co-position no. Na okuta 137 de Akufo Addo pamo no. Where they waba saba omia wini flag bearer so de ne ye running mate. Sa wan jan tum so ne be ya obe contested by omia asantefo nyina be to ama no. He will become the flag bearer of the MPP. Because obianim say Napo Jimmy Napo can never come back into any mainstream politics. He's done. Alan Korekhamante is out. All the people who could have contested Bawumia now, they're out of the picture. Alan is out. John Kuma and Osei, the guy to do the job. John Kuma has been murdered by the NPP. Now we are talking about somebody to stand up. He does not have the brains. Kennedy Japan fears Antimemu. They don't see him. They also see him as a mental patient. So right now, no, Osei Chairman Sabonsumu, any Asantifono more party not trusting. Oma Mats, no, they want to take the party back to Menchia. Me see the MPP, you can never take tribalism from MPP. And only a party, no. And you see, even in their worst, almost losing about 1.8 million votes, no, they are still doing tribalism because it is in their blood. Because party BT war elections, when you have 1.7 to 1.8 million gap, your job right now is not to try and be tribalistic. Into omon kwarana, omu fina, enjankamba na papa no be wuda and crying. Jantra and Tio want to block back. They think say when we pitch Asantefo against other tribes, a party it will never happen. Messiah Asante was Asante nipa. Asante has land. Asante does not have crowd. And it's last material will say 2024 election, it will show you the raw numbers in the Ashanti region. Because the people in the Ashanti region, majority in the two about Ashanti region, and they have been able to cushion their mind or position their mind is somewhere Asantefo. So the moment those people start to get the reality check to say yene dagoma for so yeso be to aba ama chebio obi o sirem enso akobwa sirem yene eye de enkranfo yene kowfo yene, because they try always to make people think say the party is for all accounts. The party is not for all accounts. The party is for a group of Ashantis, not even all Ashantis. And you see, Osei Chairman Sabonsu I need to say wodro. Wabetna ho onsibo ya no boko. They are setting the traps. They are building their colonies. You cannot take tribalism away from them. They want Asantini to lead the party. A year ago, some will say a tribal. About back to factory settings. Start a campaign. You will hear. They ahim funibi ebe support Osei Chairman Sabonsu. They will do campaign for him. They would use him like a toilet seat. Me say, using a toilet paper. The loss now, sir, 1.7 million, 1.8 million losing. They will never come back to it again. You know the reason? Because they know, say, some of our party now party more tribal, the party can never come to power. The only time at the MPP, when the party becomes more tribal, it gingers the base. And right now, because of technology, the party cannot be more tribal because the young Asantefo they are not listening to, with all due respect, Sebio, they don't want development. Until the party is in the middle of confusion. They don't know what they want. But the video you just watched, Nyabo trying to follow NPP slowly. They are now building an Ashanti block. Osei Chairman Sabonsu befra Bawumia into a meeting when the primaries is closed. Obeka Chen say, I run or you become a running mate. You run, I become a running mate. Say Bawumia anji baako antuma. Obeka say, I will contest you. Or contest Bawumia. Kennedy wabodam. They are not going to spend time on Kennedy. They know how to nullify Kennedy. Yes. The MPP as a political party, they know how to nullify Kennedy Japan. Mentally, he's not stable. So they know how to deal with him. They will make sure they'll calculate and make sure say Bawumia accept. So Bawumia and Jantuma, they'll go after Bawumia, they'll kick him out. Or say Chairman Sabonsu will win the primaries. And the Owuno Obagin say, or say Chairman Sabonsu, Ekoye interview Asempa. No, he is preparing the base on my journey. Because the message now, the substance is that if I were the leader in parliament, I can lose that number. Into what I say, Yenia Santifono deep, no, we were not part of this defeat. Now, with the party Maya, we can bring the party back. That's the message he's sending. It's when you're smarter, you just listen to the guy and say, oh, or Kasakeke, or say Chemensable to a grantee interview. What actually called for this interview? At this point, why is he going on radio tour? Was starting with Santimemo, why? There is a reason. There's a reason because they know they need to take the party back home. And that is exactly what they are doing. I've been advising Ghanaians to say, Sa party, we know, they cannot do anything without being tribal. They can't. So we see communicators, people who speak for this party, they speak for 2 minutes and the next 8 minutes is all about Yeni. It's all about Obitanye. It's all about Adentina and Tafo in your position. Adentina and Wonafo in your position. Adentina Koufo, Adentina and Smafo, because they don't regard any tribe. And it is not like Adia they can fight. They can't fight a yomusu. When any mad person is speaking for the NPP and you sue, it comes out. You cannot suppress it. You cannot force it inside because and only a party no. And God being so good, you know, majority of our Mukasama party no Jimmy. So it is so tough. That's why I keep saying the NPP will be in opposition for 42 years. You know why? Because the NPP is not willing to open its umbrella for people from different backgrounds to join. Because when losing election less than 3 months, now what is the TV, Sunni radio, so say, and tough when your position, dodo, and when I find your position, dodo, and I when you have now why number 12? Because it's about competence. A government can come to power and choose if they are competent to do the job. That's what I need. So we study parliament. I have not spoken about a man for making issues out of the majority allowing Afejomakin to fool. The reason why I have not concentrated on that is that we have given the majority a job to do. Cancel e-levy, cancel betting tax. Make sure that the things you said you use parliament to make it happen, let it happen. As far as they are doing that, Afejomakin between in the draws and the show and anti-parliament. I don't care. Because I need them to deliver for the people, because the parliament, they said they needed that number. We have given them the number. So whether Ay3ka is slow, whether Ay3ka is not combative, whether the majority is allowing the minority to exhibit a lot of stupidity and ignorance, I don't care. What I care about is when business is put on parliament table, the majority needs to win. I will step in and come after the majority when they promise me that they will use their numbers to make sure this is passed, and they don't do it. That is when they will see we are mad. But at this point, there is nothing that Afenyomakin and the micro minority stupid pricks, have been able to block. So I don't have a problem with the majority. You might not like the approach of the majority when it comes to being combative. Every political party and the way they approach issues. And I respect everybody's view. Whether they think Ay3ka is not being so combative or he's being too tactical, I don't care. Whenever a bill is put in parliament, the work should be done. The moment the work is not done, betting tax when the things you said you are going to make sure you use the numbers to do. So when to me I found numbers and your parliament, I will not give you space. Anything I will share, I don't speak about parliament. I don't speak about the concept of the minority. Because no matter how they speak and concept themselves, they still cannot make any impact. This is politics. You need to understand. You need to know the dynamics. You need to know that there are some people there who are trying to do what make you feel say you are not important. From the day John Mahama winning and the senior majority, the MPP have not been able to stop anything. Why should I be worried? Maybe the majority have a tactical way of doing things. Afenyomakin Oppo, he backs a lot. It does not mean he's getting anything done. At least today, Osei Chairman Sabunsuakache said Afenyomakin was not competent to take that position, but he was given that position because Achechedia Poncherene say I'm fantifo betwama eyedien MPP because the Afenyomakin majority leader those times. No. So let's be real. Let's make people understand your politics and dynamics. The MPP, they still don't understand. Say our politics has changed, and then things have changed in Ghana, and that we need to understand. Say the way we used to see things, we don't see things like that anymore. So mame, we did 55, 56. Nana Ajuni say she or he does not want to move away from that Ajuni mentality. Now you, the young one, you have seen the light. You know what. Sebio, at least what that light can do for you. Ebian said John Mahama about power. Or say Obeka could see Serwaa hospital this year it will start working. Asante for said the that is how a young Ashanti should think. It is a political party be platform so and now show be so now because Kevin Taylor did do for atema what kwasi better opposition 60 years. You know why? Because obi any Ghana obet me you one statement akasa so for kwasi nobody. It is when you hide behind that and thinking you are going to get sympathy. The young man on Twitter, the young man who needs his job to work, the young man who wants something good to come to Kumasi, to want to see a better hospital, want to also have some TikTok videos and show people around Kumasi that Kumasi can also be like Hacho. It can be like East Legon. It can be that young man does not give a fuck about your stupidity. Because at the end of the day, it's about him. It's about her. It's about how people will see him or her and how they will respect him or her. Into that idea, that kind of jandam politics, 1990, 1992, where the Obiatem, there is no way that can make any waves in our politics again. So let me show you something. My team just sent me this. Some catch them say they are cooking something. MPP will never come to power again. A tribal party. Oh, time Osei Mensa Bonsu. Eko Asempa. Eko ye sa jandamono. They are preparing him. This is what Eugene Antwi. Sa former MP na se subing MP no. This is what he wrote on social media. Honest, candid, honorable leader Osei Mensa Bonsu on Peace FM, Hello FM, NPP will bounce back. MPP will be back in grand style. So it is calculated. They know what they are doing. Omunim say omubase ne Jimmy. Omunim say omubase na den. Jimmy. Inti see the things they are posting here. Eugene Antwi they will post to social media. I am showing you the tendencies. Pathway a tribe party. They are crazy. They are not a political party you have to spend your time on. I'm sure idea on where because some a tribal party. You just say Kevin Taylor time MPP. I'm sure they will never come back to power. You see this? When they be opposed. So when they be opposed. Aha. They are showing almost tendencies. Such tribalism no almost to mean sane da. Now Shade Eugene Antwi after Osei Mensa Bonsu kuko radio so wo do matchro Asante province people Amansie Adanse Kwabre Sechre Kwaman Asante Achim Ahafo Ofin Achuma and Oba clans clans and osade to aso Oyoko Asuna Bretio Eduana Asene Asechri eye Ekuana ene de Aguna Owie no Troy. These people or provinces and clans were independent but came together to form Asante. Oh, the women are say, Mama Sankwasiafo went treat him. That is how they were made. Mama can show these people or provinces and clans were independent but came together to form Asante. The name Asante was coined from their mission because of war. Now, of course, second paragraph, I didn't know Troy or see. Their unification mission erected after they have had enough of the oppression of Intim Jakari of Denchira. Note, not all the aforementioned people or provinces and clans partake in the Denchira Esa Inti war. Now, the last paragraph, this is what he said. He says, after Intim Jakari has been defeated, Esa Inti became independent and powerful, which they enlarged their territories from present-day Ghana to Ivory Coast through diplomacy, territorial settlement, and wars. This is 2025. Why should a political party, a former member of parliament, wanting his colleague Asantini to lead party, write these things? Because they know this is the only thing a whole party need together. This is the only thing. These people, they are not people that in a day you can blink and say, I'm handing Ghana over to. Right now, who say Ghana for who say Ghana for who say they are liars. Who say Ghana for now, Let me read the last part of his speech. Minimum content me read the way now. These are not people to be trusted. JJ Rollins catch them say these are dangerous. They will go and change their name. They will go and change their color. Mami chow. Adia osatro kan me kan chow next time. MPP obetwem. Okay? This is what Eugene no oye Osei Mensa Bosu campaign manager. Mami chow de wasatro. These are tribal people who Omujibo partner you are Omuji Krona you are done. With your name. Osei their unification mission erected after they have had enough of the oppression of Intim Jakari. Now, when you go down there, he says, wherever they have settled, conquered and had diplomatic allegiance, which became Asante, now Asante. Inti almost say Asantino, na Asante, war inti. So he's giving you the background of Asante, Edino, Esa inti. So they are there because of war. They are not there because of peace. Intiaka Asantia. It is not because of anything. No. Almost say esa Asantinika say yeko esa yeko akon yeko war. Into Ocho Asantia say. So the Asante you hear no, it is all about war. Esa inti and a bedani Asante. So in their mind, they have to do what? Destroy everything to become relevant. The moment they are not able to destroy everything to become relevant, omuma obianya relevant. That is the mentality. And this is a politician. Now, Okore say, Sampa, Sekwa, Japekrom, Nkranza, Western Ashanti, Bono East, Wasa Asankra, Breman, Aguna Nyankrom, Bole, Warawara, New Gabon, Kweu, Nkrobebre, and I'll say, some people migrated from Asante to different regions found in present-day Ghana and Ivory Coast. What they are trying to tell you, they say, Sa part we no. Tribe, it has exceeded. Ivory Coast. He's trying to create an impression as Santoso. These are all diversions. These are all diversion because they need to ginger their base about say that is the idea. And I want to say Asantina Mokaninano as a credit say and Tokwanti Esa Inti. Intotia Santia, the real meaning from Eugene why MP was subindan or say a tokwanti. Intotia Santia a tokwanti, enya peace in tio, enya kabomuntio, as Santia Santino a sa inti, en tokwa because of war. Me, and then I'm sure history no, on one nature must they know they have a reason for saying this. You know why they are saying that? Almost person sure say Bawomia nya Santini. They are all, or can be Asante no. Say we cannot allow Tenny to come and lead us because Ocheke clans now wakano provinces and a kuoni ebusiani adia or Chrew say a Santini Wahao and your Bawomian say DNM. They are giving the signals. Yanje party in Kofie. Yama party in Asante 4 party. So they are trying to draw the lines, but they will draw it. The lines will be clear very soon. Now, Osei. Now, just not to lose their identity, they retain the name of their ancestry root wherever they settled. Others name the places after the leader or chief. That's why you could see most of the towns in Ashanti or in Asante in other regions. It simply means that they come from Asante. Now, Asante is a given or coined name to different tribes under the Golden Throne. Unification. Don't be misled by the Gabonese and Bruni Cheyenne Sofri Asante for. Then he goes on to say, this is actual formation of Asante. We are a mix of tribes. No one owns Asante expect the king of Asante kingdom, Asante Hene. I think he was trying to write, except the king of the Asante kingdom, Asante Hene. Dodua Satike and Mopiao and Wonsam Kekakano. Now, basically, his write-up after Osei Mensa Bonsu started a year Netono, he is trying to tell the people, say, Asante for Yasidi Dikwaha. Yasi didikwaha ye dina se chirendie ba omia ye tani kerere Japan ne papa eya huneni onya santini omo chire omo ase we mo ombe bo profile a chire wo Where we no catch Alankojo Chiramantin say Alankojo Chiramantin a mixed race. A do time and Alankojo Chiramantin, I was say a flag bearer no omo catch Kojo Chiramantin say ne papa Fantini and mama Asantini into a mixed race or to say me or a mixed tribe. Into Alankojo Chiramantin or a mixed race mixed tribe to say me. They told Alankojo Chiramantin omo chire na se. And I'm going to be tomorrow if we say we a mixed tribe. And then omo chire say Asantini mapa or say chairman sabusu ni tise wodru or no na ye peno. Omo ba ye ba omi asa hwa. Enti woti asantia eye asa osa entokwanti akuntira. These people are not ready. Because idea ni nyina say yakune ye wini and omo bia wini. And these people and sa idea ni bi na omo de ye den omo de chichire party no. And it's now busa MPP for say NPP no a day na mugina so te or say na ba afọ akoto tete ni more remove £700. Me say chairman the vision of the party e bi ni ho. When they sit on radio, mumbusa mo say di enti na mo te party no adenti na te MPP adenti na MPP bedru ha. They cannot tell you. You know why? Because the party was actually built out of tribalism. Eye nipa bi nkwa na omo fo omo adwene say omo beti eye ekuo amana eden aboa omo ho. Eno na mu hu no, and it is going to manifest more